opportunity to mention is the gambling addiction that is growing in our system now.
Is it related to drug when you talk about gambling?
Yes.
Is there a correlation
there is
between
a correlation between the two. Okay? How would I just wake up? You know, there are some people whom you just say, okay, they get into the addiction somehow. But there are some people, the moment they're involved in one kind of illegality, they are involved in every other thing. It snowballs. It's a domino effect that you find there. So we need to, like I have said, be very simple. Anybody that has behaved in a manner that shows unreasonableness, okay, that you can suspect that the person is under influence, then you test. Okay? Now, if you want to say everybody, the person that is habitual in the consumption of these things, you will not get them. Okay? If there had been an incident or an accident that shows that, or there's a suspicion that for this to have happened, the party involved would not have been in his right senses, then test. Okay? It's very important that we learn to do this. And then we need to also train our teachers, especially at the primary and secondary school level, to be able to identify, okay, based on the high index of suspicion, some of these children who are not acting right and may be under the influence of these things. And so if we're going to be, then the school must be kitted to be able to take instantaneous tests. Because you catch him today and say, hey, we are going to take you tomorrow, it's closing time. They won't be in the office. By tomorrow, it's not in the system again. So it has to be instantaneous. Okay? But what is most important for me is testing is not as important and than your capacity to be able to rehabilitate the people that has been caught.
Before we get to our listeners, this call, I like you to advocate and tell our listeners why those that, especially those that are abusing drugs, why they should not rationalize it. Because the last time I checked, dialysis, an episode is 50,000. I don't know, you know the actual price now, and you know the pain. And you've also talked about the high level of patients at psychiatric hospital. But despite this, when you speak to an average substance abuse person, an average person that abuse drugs, they will rationalize it to them. Some of them are listening to us. Okay, can you speak to them as an expert?
Let me give somebody in this room a blow. I don't know which one of you. When you were doing the intro, you said I was monitoring, and then I think you are actually reading from a script, maybe an article or something, and you mentioned that people have resorted to drugs as a coping mechanism for, you know, the dwindling economy and all that. I just shook my head. That is rationalization. Okay, that is rationalization. Okay, how come there are so many people in America that take drugs?
Despite the assumed
better economy.
How about in the US? I mean, in the UK. Okay? Now, why did Saudi Arabia make it a death penalty straight off? Okay? Because they don't want to wait for that rationalization. Do you understand? So, the issue is that there is no rationalization for drug abuse, illicit drug taking. Okay? So, whether economy or no economy, there are people who take this drug. You say peer pressure, that is rationalization. Do you understand? You say, okay, ability to get it easily. Yes, those are issues. These things, okay, I think one other major issue that we need to understand. Let's look at the supply side before we get to the demand side.
Okay.
Our social structure, our moral values, our religious institutions, most especially, have failed
in
their responsibilities. The over recognition, the kind of respect without limitation that we give to people because of their assumed wealth. You recall, about 2 years ago or thereabout, in VGC, some people were caught with 150 something billion naira worth of illicit drugs. Billion. And in that gated community and many others, you recall, okay, even within there has been found a whole house that was a methamphetamine factory. People hide now with affluent communities to perpetrate this evil. All that matters to us is, that man is very rich. You remember Chukudumeme Evans? He lived in Magodo. When you want to enter into Magodo Estate, they get to the person will have to tell them, yes, he's coming to see me. Level of getting.
Security.
The level. I don't even call it security or fencing. Okay? In VGC, there is a code. The person will give you a code.
Yes.
And you now relay the code. And they will pass the numbers on the board. A lot of people perpetrate so many things. And I'm not just saying in those countries. There are some other places open. You'd also see people who adulterate these alcohol drinks.
Yeah.
You see that one in Lagos where it's like a swamp. That people had to wear very high boots to be able to get inside some dirty, murky waters. You know. So we need to address the supply.
Please speak to the youth. Speak to those that are rationalizing it. I want you to speak to their mind.
Listen, if they crave for it and they can't find it to buy, they don't have it. So let us address that supply side. Very important.
Okay.
And then we'll now come to the youth. Okay, the life expectancy of the average Nigerian is lower than should be expected. And a lot of people are dying these days from diseases which hitherto were not found to be rampant in those young ages. I'm a doctor, so I cannot start telling you some things. Okay, some stories. Because the moment I tell a story now relating to this, somebody somewhere will say, he's talking about my brother.
Yeah.
He's talking about me. He's talking about my son and would want to take me up. Okay? Because one or two people will now be able to decode, that was what happened to his son. But a lot of young chaps these days are coming down with mental illnesses. A lot of them are coming down with kidney problems and all of that, liver problems. Now, you want me to talk about dialysis? How about those ones who come down with heart problems? And these heart problems maybe are not amenable at the stage that they are coming in. Because, let's go back to the system now. A lot of them will present with two quacks. Okay? And then they treat them for typhoid and malaria. A lot of those people who come to or who present themselves at renal clinics have been treated for typhoid and malaria over and over and over and over. They say, I'm always having malaria. But meanwhile, it's something else, okay? Or typhoid and all of that. And they come boldly to the hospital, I have typhoid and malaria. And I say, I didn't go to school, so I don't know what typhoid and malaria is. Tell me what it is about, you know. And there are those with heart issues. There are those with dialysis. See, the dialysis one or the kidney problem one are the ones that sometimes often show face easily because you see them bloating and all of those and all of that. And then they go to dialysis. The first time there's this amount of money you have to pay, and then you have to pay, maybe do 3 times every week for a long time, and you are spending over $500,000. Where does that come from? Okay, that's a big drain on their families, and unfortunately, address the parents. A lot of parents don't know their children. Yes, we have gone to work, we come back in the evening, and you don't know what your children are doing in their rooms, and you are seeing some kind of behavior. Okay, all of a sudden, let's assume I have a male child, and then all of a sudden, I see you trying to make
to lock your hair.
And all of that.
But people have talked about stigmatization.
No, it's not stigmatization. As a parent, I want to know what changed.
Okay.
Do you understand? I want to know what changed. If you're somebody that I know comb your hair every morning, oil it and do all those things, and all of a sudden you are changing. I want to know what changed.
What changed, yeah.
If it is just your fashion sense that changed, naturally, it's okay. But I want to know what changed. I want to see my child, who normally I know will take his shower in the morning and also in the night before he sleeps, and is becoming, the one that's not chalant about taking a shower. Then I want to know what changed. I want to know that this young chap whose room is usually so well
Clean,
appropriately arranged and all of that, become, so shabby, like a pig pen and all of that. I want to know what changed. I want to know what changed when my son, that would never look into anybody's face, who is always shy, becomes, so bogusly bold, so bogusly verbose and all of that. I want to know what changed. I want to know what changed when my child, who usually I'm coming in and is on the phone, will just greet me and all of that. Then now he sees me, he quickly wants to hide the phone, or I see the moment I come in, he quickly press something on the laptop to, either switch off this, what he's watching and all that. I want to know what changed. I want to know what changed when my child, who normally loves to stay at home, now becomes, so extravagant that now he comes home at 10 p.m. I want to know what changed. So these are issues, and parents are not paying attention. So you know the personality of your child. Understand that, yes, as they grow up, there are certain things that change, especially when they become teenagers. There is a period in the life of a teenager when they become rebellious. Yes, when they start thinking, yes, I should be able to do this by myself. There are those natural, but you must be able to differentiate them from things that are influenced by drugs. So, because they will not come up to you to say they are taking it. You want to know what changed when your child, who usually is quite open, becomes secretive. You want to know what changed when your child, who usually loves to wear short sleeve shirts, start wearing long sleeve. All of a sudden, everything must be long sleeve. You want to know what changed when your child, who normally would wear maybe shorts, maybe a boy, and then topless within the house, all of a sudden he must be always 100% clothed. You want to know what changed. So there are a lot of things that we're not paying attention to. And so if you are attentive enough, you will know when the change happened, and then you'll be able to pick it up early enough. Okay? So it is very important for parents particularly, and then of course the older siblings and all of that, and make your children bold enough to come and talk to you. It might just even be your 6-year-old who will notice something and say, mommy, I saw brother something, do something, I say, and they are able to open up to you, and you see those things happen. Now to the youth themselves is to say, look, you're toying with your life.
See, it's something that will kill me, even if
and then you see, when you see some, especially in the households where the father drinks, smokes and all that, and then the child has heard you say something to a friend who is saying, you better stop this drink. Say, maybe somebody will die anyhow now. It's something that must kill a man and all that. You have sown a philosophy into your child that make them stupidly adventurous. To say after all, I'll die.
Some will say all die and I die.
All die and I die. So those are issues that we
all right.
Thank you
so much, sir. So let us quickly take some calls and some messages. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning.
Good afternoon. I'm Kyle Olumide from Advocacy. Good morning, doctor.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, sir. Greet you, Dr. JAMIU. Good morning.
Good morning.
Doctor.
Yes, sir.
For your information, what happened to JAMIU happened to me the days of Dr. Banjo in Ighalo. Very respectable old man. I think he's late now. He asked of whether I'm smoking or whether I was drinking or whatever, and I told him I was younger then. When I used this private hospital at in front of Tribune then. You see, I was now looking at it that, is it that probably the doctors just wanted to know how the substances in drugs are so probably, I don't know how to put it now, simply put, to whether such a person is physically dependent on such, maybe without the knowledge of parents, using such drugs or taking, drinking and then smoking. And then probably they wanted to use it to regulate their own ways of looking at the what is probably happening to that such individual at that time. But that aside, sir, my take this one is on how do you see drugs that are prescribed by doctors, and then somehow, he asks for certain number of times that drugs must be used But instead of taking that drugs as probably predicted by doctors, by the patient maybe normally wants to drop it as soon as it doesn't want to feel like continuing that drug.
Right.
What will be the result? And if you overtake that drug, maybe you went ahead to buy more extra. What could have been the effect also?
Thank you. 081-0786-0000. We'll take about, let's say, 4 calls, and then we'll allow you respond and also take some messages. 081-0786-0000. While the WhatsApp number for messages is 090-3927-3532. Hello.
Hello.
Your radio is on. Can you turn it off, please?
Good morning.
Yes, good morning.
Yeah. Good morning, Dr. ASHIMI. Good morning,
sir.
Dr. JAMIU. My name is Dr. Nkom. Dr. ASHIMI, thank you very much. Because when Osato made that intro, that because of rationalization, I picked up my phone to tell her, no, it's not true.
It's perspective. We are being critical here.
We are looking at it from different angles.
This is why we say because of price of rice is 100,000, so we go into prostitution. We rationalize everything in this country instead of telling the truth. No, please. And I'm happy how ASHIMI took it that is where the thing happens in the media, rationalization, because Tinubu did not pay minimum wage. So because of that, I must go and see him. And because someone stole money somewhere, he was not jailed. I saw it. That is one of the big problems we have in this country. Thank you very much, Dr. ASHIMI. It's not only down to doctors take drugs. Nurses take drugs. And all that is not what why are they taking it. It's not because they are poor. Doctors take it. As practicing doctors. And it's a big problem. I never knew it was such a big issue until when they pointed at me. This one. My advice, if you want to take drugs, continue taking. There are too many in this country to start it. That is in fact, I've said something one day. A woman brought a husband that he's drinking too much. Please, what can I work? Please talk to him. I said, no, Oga, what do you drink? Trophy. Can I buy one for you? I want you to drink. Your deliver will go and you die. And the woman will marry a better husband. That's it. There's a particular level in life. Nobody needs to tell you you want to die. Die now and leave us alone.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, ASHIMI.
Thank you. Thank you so much. 081-0786-0000. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. All right, do we also call back, please? All right, Dr. ASHIMI, would you want to respond to both calls we picked?
Yes, I recall Mr. Olumide's. Now, you see, there are different kind of drugs, and the mechanism, the chemistry, and all of those are different. I want to have one on the 2 questions. I will then take them. I will use different examples of drugs. The first one, you have been prescribed with an antibiotic, and because you started taking it now, you feel better. And science has shown that for this drug to completely eradicate the bacteria from your system, you need to have taken 500 milligrams 3 times daily for 5 days. Okay? But because after taking 2 or 3 tablets, you started feeling better and you feel that you should stop. So you stopped. Okay? Now, what happens is that you have not cleared whatever it is in the system. Over some days or weeks, they grow up again, and then you may be lucky that your body is still sensitive, or the organism is still sensitive to that same drug. Or you may have to go a different drug or a higher drug. Now, you see, the problem with a different drug could be there's a reason why the doctor prescribed the first one. Perhaps because you would react from the issue we have to the other alternative. So the alternative is something you react to. So we can't give you again. Well, and then now the organism is resistant. And so we have to look for something higher. You that a 5,000 naira drug would have cured, we have to look for something that is 100 and something. You now start shouting. So when you don't take your antibiotics properly, as prescribed, then you may come down with resistance, or you take them just anyhow. When you don't have any reason to, you come down with resistance. Now, you have been prescribed a drug, and science has said that, look, for this drug not to show its harmful side, you have to take it only for 5 days. And so, because it made you feel so good, and then you love, I feel good. You now do by you say you buy more. And you continue to buy more. And then it continues to delay this, maybe your liver, your kidney.
Or your system adjusts to it.
No, I'm coming to that one. So, what you then have is that you have armed yourself by taking much more than your body can process. Okay? Overdose. Now, there is the other one that, perhaps is something that relates to maybe your inability to sleep or something that they need to calm you for a while. And then they give you this thing, 5 milligrams for 3 days every night. And you say, this thing worked.
I sleep.
Then you found your own way of getting, because ordinarily those drugs are not supposed to be readily available to you. Over the counter. And then you found your own way, because Nigeria is what it is, and Nigerians are who they are, and then you're able to get the supply. It comes to a time 5 milligram work for you, and then you require 10 milligram. Then you get to 15, then you get to 20, and then one day you take a particular dose that will stop you from breathing. Okay, and then it happens, bam. And then unfortunately, because there is no mark on you, and then the night before you had a quarrel with your neighbor, and then somebody say, what you learning can, what you paper, what checking it can, and you start, people start making excuses for that death, not knowing that the incident of you having a shouting match with your neighbor has nothing to do with this, So it's a very dangerous thing to take below. It's a very dangerous thing to take above, and it's a very dangerous thing to take beyond what has been prescribed.
All right, thank you, sir. Let's take some calls and then we wrap up with messages. Hello.
A very good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Honorable Kendi Shaga. I'm in ADVOCACY this morning.
Thank you for calling.
I'd like to first commend the guest for a job well done. And I want to say that thank God for Ndlea in this country. You can imagine what this country would have been if all those news that we are hearing about billions or millions of naira worth of drug is being seized here and there in the airports, and sufficient attention is not given to Ndlea, as it were, in my opinion, because the youths of today are more engaged in drug than we had in the past. In the past, smoking of cigarettes, we were told, is very dangerous. In that aspect, I know that the Ndlea in the recent time has even banned adverts that even on media or on movies of anything that has to do with drugs. Hello?
Yes. Go on.
Yes. So and the effect is so overwhelming on Nigerians, but still, the drugs that are coming to this country are so huge that by the time you see the type that is being arrested by Ndlea every time, you will say, wow. And all the crimes and criminalities in this country are all influenced by these drugs. So I think drug addiction or drug issues should be localized. It should be essentially localized. The community should be empowered enough that if you take drugs, like I was in the center in somewhere in Abuja, I joined and see police patrol looking for where they smoke ganja, all these things. And the drugs that are coming in, I don't know how abuse are getting enlightened about all these drugs. There are so many names now, so many brands now in the system that you cannot imagine. Yeah. So, somebody, let me conclude by saying kudos to the Ndlea, but I think the Ndlea should now focus on talking to traditional rulers and especially families on the danger of drug, because prevention is better than cure. Anyone that has got into drug would be very difficult to leave it. Good morning. Kendi Shaga is my name.
Good morning. Thank you so much. 08107860000. Hello. Good morning. Hello.
Hello.
Yes. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, I am Dr. Chima. I want to thank the Ndlea helmsman that spoke with us this morning. And I want to give it also to my brother who is there. But the point to note is that we have been handed over to ourselves. The community has a lot of things to do in this matter. Parents must be responsible. Parents must be good examples to their words and must take proper care of their words. Some of these children wake up from our homes, from where they go to schools or their workplace or whoever. Let's take our time to look at them. Once your child begins to have some behavioral changes, you will know. When your child begins to sleep too much, you will know.
when your child begins to do other things that he's not been doing before, you will know. That's time to begin to talk and shout. And then again, I want to quickly add, our teachers, I want to plead with them. They need to be more alive to their responsibilities. Once you note all of this, although there are some issues, but then if you quickly make efforts, make noise, make reports, we can be able to save some of these our children. Because a teaching time, we actually save 25. Thank you very much, Dr. Asimi. Thank you.
sir.
God bless you.
All right,
God bless us
thank
all.
you. Thank you,
All right.
Dr. Chima, for calling. 081-0786-000. So it's no more a station time saves 9.
Save more than that.
It's
So
now
if I
20.
even say 1 million,
This misconception, is it misconception or a misinformation or conspiracy theory that doctors take drug before surgery? Speak to that. Speak to that.
no, that is not true. But let me allude to something. Doctors are human beings. They are exposed to every other thing that every other human being is exposed to. And I can tell you that even amongst us, we have found people who have been addicted to drugs. We have found people who have been addicted to gambling and some other things that happens to any average human being. But again, because they are among us, it's perhaps easier for us to quickly detect and and take care of it. And the rationale that a lot of people claim, made them to go, they can also rationalize. Okay, so we need to deal with every aspect the same way. You find that among lawyers, you find that among engineers, you find among all professions. So don't let us talk about doctors, nurses.
But it's not a norm.
It's about human beings.
But it's not a norm or
that
tradition
doctors- which
or
drug are we
professional
taking?
for you to abuse drugs also
No,
before
you can't. But
do
unfortunately,
surgery.
let me tell you something. All over the world, if you look for the statistics on suicide. Among doctors, in fact, doctors are likely to commit suicide more than any other professional group. And among doctors, it is the anesthetists because they are the ones that are close to those drugs, having GIO, Fiji and all those things. So they have access to to these things more than any other person. So they are also sometimes the rationale is that the inability to withstand the pressure of the job sometime and all of that. And you see that it goes beyond that because there are a lot of them that the pressure of the job at work translates to a lot of pressure at home and all of those things here and there. So we are human beings. We have reasons to do some of these things, but it's important that we take charge of ourselves, of our minds, and then the people around should be able to help who are better than us in being able to withstand pressures and all of that. So as it is among the general population, it's also amongst us. But we don't take any drug before we do surgery. I can tell you that we do is that even if a doctor had done the same surgery 1 million times, you may find him reading about the next one he wants to do, which is the same thing he did yesterday. Because sometimes it may be one small fine print that we discover today. Say, hey, okay, there is still. So you find them reading all the time, even though they've performed the same surgery several times. You still read about it.
Not consulting Google to prescribe because
Google is your own friend.
Not the
When
doctor's
it comes
friend.
to us, you have to be careful when you source your information.
All right, thank you. Let's take just a call and then wrap up with messages. Hello, good morning. Yes, good morning. Good morning.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
I'm Level JAMIU. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
My doctor,
Sam,
Mr. Ashimi, good morning.
good morning, Sam.
I'm about to Taiwan Yawadi from South Corner area, in Jaja Town. I thank God that I stopped working. Because when I started working, I was about 5 years in service. I had a girlfriend. I was smoking. You know that girlfriend looked for me because I was smoking just a cigarette. Learned a lesson from that. Since then I stopped smoking. And I thank God, none of my children, those who are graduates now, they're graduates now. Even my grandchildren who are now undergraduates, never smoke. Now, but the question is, Dr. Ashimi, how do we stop these people smoking? Highly placed people, the Lagbajas, the Tamedus in uniform. How do we stop them?
All right.
What of United Nations? Do they stop those who are manufacturing these drugs? Are they competing with us? Why are they being manufactured? And why are these drugs still in country? That's why the work of Buba Marwa and his men.
Thank you, sir. All right, so how do we
let me quickly address the economic side of drugs. Now, beyond the illicit drugs that we call hard drugs, that government would arrest, seize, and put them in prison, those other drugs like cigarette, alcohol, and all whatnot are actually money spinners for government. And that is one reason why it has been difficult to battle them, because the market for alcohol is high. I was in a bar in Port Harcourt, and somebody beside me was taking a bottle of a certain brand of alcohol that sold for 1.56 million.
Beautiful.
Now, how much is the VAT on 1.56 million? That's something substantial that will come to government. Do you know the annual turnover of the breweries in Nigeria, and how much tax government get from them? The tobacco companies and all of that. Have you heard government reject tax from breweries, despite all the noise? So there is an economic side to this thing that is making it difficult for government to regulate even those ones like alcohols and cigarette. Now, several years back in the United Kingdom, somebody did a study, got 25,000 packs of cigarettes and changed the packs, painted black, and put the skull and bones on it as the brand. That thing sold out in a day. Meaning that people don't care
whether they will die
It was
or
basically
not.
the content
Yeah,
that they were
that
interested
they
in.
were interested in. So there is I was at a hotel, I think about 5-6 years ago, and they had this program, Rhythm Unplug. I saw it when 2 trucks of a particular expensive, you know, when those boys talk about this alcohol, 2 trucks were dropped while I was there. The next morning, when I woke up and I came out, I saw empty bottles of all of those, including another one. You know, so I could say to myself that on one night, over 50,000 bottles of expensive alcohol was consumed. Government will make money from there. You know, and so that part is difficult. So for those ones, alatishi.
All right, thank you so much, sir. Let us just wrap up with about 2 messages. So, Surakat Abdulhamid says, concerning the production of these alcoholic drinks, it is really not about the regulatory agencies, nor the producers, but the National Assembly. They are directed NAFDAC to halt the implementation of the ban, citing unemployment and what have you. If lawmakers could be engaged in drugs, what do you expect from other Nigerians? For me, I do not see it being eradicated because the system is corrupt, and the free-for-all syndrome is affecting the process of eradicating it. Another message here. Good morning to all listeners. Taking drugs is a risky and dangerous way of life. Doctor, thank you for opening our eyes. To curb this menace, we need to fight against corruption, and we parents need to do the needful. And that is Reverend Zachariah Olubayo. MOK says, good morning to our guest and bravo to the doctor. Sir, don't you see the bad governance, maladministration, poor economy and unemployment as part of the causes of this menace? Don't you think the source of this drug should be blocked? And then, okay, 2 more messages. Oh, just one more. We need to take just one more. As regards the issue of drug abuse, the role of CDAs, parents and teachers cannot be overemphasized. However, we need to look at it holistically from the point of production to the point of sale. Government and NAFDAC need to do more. Ola from Abekuta sent in that message. And sir, can we have your final challenge?
Yes, my final thought for him, like when he says good governance and all of that. Let me say, I'm a Muslim, okay, but they sell pork in the same market where I buy goat meat and beef. Why don't I say because it is there? I can see it, I should go and buy it. It's the same thing with a lot of things we do. There is this self-control that is what you need to exercise. It could be overwhelming sometimes, but you need to do more on yourself than on those things. Would always be available. It would always be there. So otherwise, there are some proverbs in Yoruba that still talk about people who got drunk. So in the days of Oduduwa, even Obatala Abi was said to have gotten drunk on palm wine. And so what are you saying? It would always be there. But so you need to be careful
self-test kits. Is it possible? Is it something that's
of
practicable?
Course, it's possible. But then, if I know I take drugs, what do I want
Even
to test myself
at
for?
home, maybe parents who want to test their kids.
It's still an infringement on their rights.
For parents to test kids?
You can't just go ahead and start testing people. But then, do your work.
Okay.
Do you understand? Do your work.
Your final shot.
Because people would. So my final shot is this: that everybody has something to do when it comes to, drugs, illicit drugs, and all of that. The place of the people, the place of the family, the place of the religious bodies, traditional institutions, and then the government. And you see, I didn't even follow. I don't know whether it is true that it was the National Assembly that asked them to stop. Then we need to check some things. How can you now rationalize unemployment to, the menace of drug and all of that? So everybody has a role to play. And most importantly is the individual himself.
All right.
Followed by the family. So it's your life. If you ruin it, that's your own. If you make it better, that's your own. But unfortunately, in doing so, in ruining your own life, you take some other people with you. You drive and you are drunk. You won't die alone most often. You go and kill other people who are innocent, who have never even tasted alcohol before in their lives. So let us all take caution.
All right, thank you so much, Dr. KUNLE ASHIMI, and a big thank you to everyone that called in, sent in messages, and listened quietly. Let us do this again tomorrow. My name is Osatuame Ighalo Chima. Good morning.
Don't create problem for every solution. Let us be part of the solution to the challenges of our nation. Verify all information that comes your way. With this mindset and action, we back Nigeria for our dream. My name is JAMIU FOLARIN. Good morning, Nigerians.
This stands out as Rock City. 101.9 FM.
One time for the fearless people, two times for the fearless people. You know, say me, I get energy, get energy, get energy. Yawa no day, yawa no day. You know, say me, I take can't pay. With fearless energy drink, I conquer my day. Energy drink, fearless energy drink. I dare fearless, embrace the trees, classic and red berry.
That's right. Embrace the thrill. Feel the power of Fearless Energy Drink. Now available in 50 cl can.
Emeka, wetin happen? Why everywhere dark like this?
Omo, I don't tire. This light matter won't kill me. To dey buy for yourself won't come out my head for my body.
My country people, una don hear the latest? As things now don dey carry us go where we no can know. Now modern approach we go fit solve am o. For this period where power supply no can get bearing. Fuel to can even power una gen sef don turn gold. Now to go solar o, I ogbonge company, Paradise Life Nigeria Limited, wey sabi for solar matter, for so even still dey maintain am for you. Dem be correct dealer for all solar equipment and the accessories join. Solar panels o, inverters o, batteries o, charge controllers. You want install CCTV, solar street lights, electric fencing, automatic gate for anywhere dem to sabi. Dem fit run am for shikini money. Another ogbonge thing be say dem fit construct solar borehole for domestic use o, abi na industrial use. Dem fit even train person join how dem dey do am. Our company dey Paradise Solar House wey dey beside StarTimes office for Alogi, Obantoko, Abeokuta. You fit enter dem website for www.paradisedigitalworld.com for better updates, or make you call or send message for WhatsApp on top 0803 910 9394 0803 910 9394 or 0905 Sigamo.
Ooh, yeah, 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 yeah. Happy family, happy home. You know, in every room there's a Muka. Yeah. Get comfort, stay refreshed. Choose Muka mattress. So sleep better, live better. Muka.
Muka, adding comfort to life since 1959.
If your radio's on, it better be the rock station.
Hey, some people be acting like they know it all. Hey, ooh, some people be acting like they know it all. Hey, oh, some people be acting like they know it all. Ooh, see
stop a thing we really feel. Before you know you done the one they start to the go low small. I don't go lie, we feel these things for real. Some people don't believe a man, they bring about them own downfall. This reality and you will see that it pays nobody to be feeling that you all and all. Try to visualize what I feel and then I bet you what you see will be a picture of a blinding wall. Try to enter the town, try to see what thing they happen around. That's so them go, they bring you down. Before you go know, you go there for 6 feet under the ground. Oh, some people be acting like they know it all, when everybody knows the people rise and fall. Some rise up again just to stand up tall and wiser and stronger. But no matter how long you live, you cannot learn it all. You can only do your best because you know go feed you hard. So if you want to criticize me, talk small, cause you know only pass my brother. You know only pass my sister. Some people when them see a wrong thing, they will start complaining until the complaining will turn into shouting. Anytime them see a wrong thing, then continue shouting until the shouting turn to traditional shouting. When them try to correct a thing, they will start to thinking until the thinking when depression start to set in. Make them feel like outcasting. The society them living because them lose them sense or belonging, but they will try to push some more, try to open every door. Negativity doesn't make it certain. So when them try to stop the complaining and the shouting, them no go fit because it don't be spiritual something. People take advantage of them being, cause them realizing say these people love them spirit of fighting. So them start to use them head, use them like us do. All the problem of the nation they be dumping in them head. Slavery will start to setting like a mistart. Boy, I know you seen the making, and them start to do almost anything for almost nothing. Cause instinctively them need surviving. They will push them to the floor, start to collect other people them belonging. But like a goat that has been pushed to the wall, we are already ready to start to do the fighting. So we are gonna gun them down, run them all around. We are gonna chase them out of we town. Sabi we go gun them down. Before them go know them go there for 6 feet under the ground. Hey, some people be acting like they know it all, when everybody knows the people rise and fall. Some rise up again just to stand up tall and wiser and stronger. But no matter how long you live, you cannot learn it all. You can only do your best because you know go feed you on. So if you want to criticize me, talk small, cause you know only pass my brother. No only pass my sister. Some people be acting like they know it all, when everybody knows that people rise and fall. Some rise up again just to stand up tall and wiser and stronger. But no matter how long you live, you cannot learn it all. You can only do your best because you know go feed you all. So if you want to criticize me, talk small, cause you know only pass my brother.
I'm not where I wanna be, but I thank God I'm not where I used to be. I was feeling like the devil had a hold on me. Mama crying when the rent due. You don't know what we've been through. Was there nothing that I could do? Watch it rain on me. Said too much love since we were young. So we gon' ball out every time we step out. Ain't nothing that I can. Lost some niggas on the way, but I'm still right here. Blessings, 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 blessings.
Ginger me, cause it's Johnny Church, and to run again, me. Go to me, go, them up me. But you want me, lame, no, want me, need Germany. Just see you, it's standard. Just look on the Calvary, on the Father. Nobody can me, Balenciaga, couldn't buy me. Come on, to for bully. Oluwa no die, we are table. My brother, nobody holy. God, they pay my money. They tell me story, Mr. Money, my people in poly. My bitch, my designers, my the lifestyle, my desire, I'm on fire. Ali, I'm the liar. Blessings,
blessings, blessings, blessings, blessings, blessings, blessings, blessings. I'm not where I wanna be, but I think I'm not where I used to be. I was feeling like the devil had a hold on me. Mama crying when I'm redo. I'm only been through. There's nothing that I could do. Watch it rain on me. I watch it rain on me. I watch it rain on me.
Oh, I could go about me. Arambadalaye, arambadalaye. Akuko baba mi kan láíláí, owó ni ó jẹ, kò ní ìjàgbàdo. Akuko baba mi kan láíláí, owó ni ó jẹ, kò ní ìjàgbàdo. Arambadalaye, owó ni ó jẹ, owó ni ó jẹ, Aramba fowó dá, owó ni ó jẹ, owó ni ó jẹ. Money not the root of all evil. Could I share man, torí owó ìlú. Could I rattle lie, obìnrin lówó, ẹ̀yin obìnrin, ẹ dákun ṣe tèmi. Owó àpèkánú kò, owó ìwòrò. Gucci Prada, owó ni. Holiday for Bahamas, owó ni. Mama wa kí mi, owó ló ná mi. Àkùkọ bàbá mi kan láíláí, owó ni ó jẹ, kò ní ìjàgbàdo. Àkùkọ bàbá mi kan láíláí, owó ni ó jẹ, kò ní ìjàgbàdo. Arambadalaye, owó ni ó jẹ, owó ni ó jẹ. Imagine say that they get money pass, I go pay all lecturer fees and put an end to ASU strike. Imagine say I be babalawo, I go find solution to corona, make my people do alright. Tẹnu bá jẹ ojú àti ohun tó bá ṣe ti ilẹ̀ ló máa gbé. Ẹni bá gbin kẹdú sójú dé ní Adigun, ó fẹ́ fún mi níwòjì. Àkùkọ bàbá mi kan láíláí, owó ni ó jẹ, kò ní ìjàgbàdo. Àkùkọ bàbá mi kan láíláí, owó ni ó jẹ, kò ní ìjàgbàdo. Arambadalaye, owó ni ó jẹ, owó ni ó jẹ. Ẹ̀rù ọmọ olóde, wọlé kọlẹ̀. Ẹ̀rù ògbúdọ̀ ọmọ ògbómọdúgún, wọlé kọlẹ̀. Orí mi gbé mi débi rere, kẹsẹ̀ mi sìn mí débẹ̀ o. Im junior colleague ló ń kígbe, dákun má ṣe mi báyẹn o.
I don't want to beg you for rabba. Make you marry wire my ass. So take if I jump you get, yeah. Make you know say I dey para. Owó tí ma ní tó ma là mí, ọlá tó ma sọ mí dé yan. Connection we go change my life. Got to schedule come up where to balance. Make it come my way. Make it come my way. Make it come my way. Give me back to share. Make it come my way. Make it come my way. Make it come my way. Give me back to share. I don't want to beg you for money. I just go out to for money. But tell them I just come up with first class in the worry. Europe, Yankee, Kilo Euro, Itimo Tani no Ogunto. You buck up broken bottles, forgive me, go back to Ogunto. I'm walking far away from all the sorrows and the pain. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Call on my general, call on my general. Make all my friends and families my general, call my general. Go to me, baby, baby, guess I see me, baby. Junior colleague, okay, that my shit to me, baby. I don't want to beg you for rabba. They do marry, why am I ass? So they if I jump you get, yeah. Make you know say I dey para. Owó tí ma ní tó ma là mí, ọlá tó ma sọ mí dé yan. Connection we go change my life. Got to schedule come up where to balance. Make it come my way. Make it come my way. Make it come my way. Give me back to share. Make it come my way. Make it come my way. Make it come my way. Give me back to share. Sinero kan ṣẹlẹ̀ sí mo fún lójú mi méjèèjì. Ó jẹ́ ọmọ kan tó wà less privilege bọ̀ kò kí n ṣe lébi. Kò kí n fi ti ènìyàn lára bọ̀ mo fún náà kọ́sùlà. Àmọ́ ya wọn tán ti fi lọ́kàn balẹ̀ rí dẹ̀jọ́ fúlà. Wọ́n ní mo fún rú tó bàjẹ́ kò mọ̀ ọ̀rọ̀ sọ. Wọ́n ní tiwa too desperate and aggressive. Wọ́n crucify ẹ̀. Ṣé lọ́sọdẹ ni tí ó ní ronú? Ṣùgbọ́n mo fún nìkan ló mọ bí tí bàtà ti ń tò. Ṣé ló kẹ́ pamọ́ṣẹ́ bọ̀ wọ́n náà tún ti ṣe kẹ́kọ̀ọ́ ma. Ayò bí yọ sílẹ̀ gidi bọ̀ mo fún no kẹ́ màmá. Mo fún no the loose guard. Mo fún no the skylark. Ajá mo fò jẹ́ kí n dédé tó. Mo lè bá ìta. Yorùbá lọ wọ́n bọ̀ ọ̀rọ̀ balẹ̀ pẹ̀pẹ̀. Ọmọ tó máa dira láyé ò jẹ́ máa rẹpẹtẹ. If you felt neglected, damn, who my shit, but you never knew the scenario was mine. So I say, hey, go to me, baby, baby, guess I see me, baby. If junior colleague, okay, that who my shit, me, baby. I don't want to beg you for rabba. They do marry, why am I ass? So they if I jump you get, yeah. Make you know say I dey para. Owó tí ma ní tó ma là mí, ọlá tó ma sọ mí dé yan. Connection we go change my life. Got to schedule come up where to balance. Make it come my way.